Hello, dear friend. Come sit beside me for a while. Let's imagine ourselves on a quiet summer morning, a soft breeze dancing through the leaves, a cup of tea warming our hands, and sunlight spilling across a little garden we've shaped with love. You don't need a big yard, a big budget, or even big strength to create beauty. All you need is care, and maybe a few treasures from the Dollar Tree. In this little corner of the world, we've learned something that only time can teach, that the most delightful things often come from humble beginnings. A mason jar turned lantern, a child's forgotten toy becoming a succulent garden. These are more than crafts. They are reminders that your hands still create, that your days still bloom, that even with less you can make more. Today, I'll walk you through 30 garden ideas that are gentle on the wallet but rich in charm. They're simple enough to do without kneeling or lifting anything too heavy. Most use items you can find at the Dollar Tree or even tucked away in a drawer you haven't opened in years. A spool of twine, a chipped bowl, a few old spoons, they're waiting to be turned into something new. So let's begin this journey together. You don't need youth or money to make magic, just a little imagination and the belief that even the smallest space can bloom again. Welcome back to your garden, dear friend. Let's make something beautiful. Remember when we used to save every can, every button, every ribbon just in case? Back then it wasn't called recycling. It was simply the way we lived. Practical, thoughtful. And today, that same spirit lives on in this tiny project. That's as beautiful as it is purposeful, a handmade bee hotel crafted from a soup can and a few napkin rings. Start by rinsing out an empty tin can. Any size will do, though one from soup or vegetables tends to work perfectly. You'll want it clean and dry with the label removed. Now head to the Dollar Tree and pick up a few bamboo napkin rings. Their round, hollow shapes mimic the tiny tubular spaces that solitary bees love to nest in. Stack the napkin rings snugly inside the can, packing them tight so they won't shift or fall out. If the fit isn't perfect, a touch of hot glue or a bit of twine can help secure them. Wrap the outside of the can with jute twine, again found at the dollar store, using dabs of hot glue to hold it in place. This gives your bee hotel a warm, rustic look, like something you'd find in a nature preserve. To hang it, attach a loop of sturdy wire or a ribbon to the back. Then find a calm, sheltered spot in your garden that gets morning sun and afternoon shade, maybe under the eaves of your porch or along a wooden fence. Bees will be drawn to it naturally, especially in spring and early summer when they're searching for safe places to lay their eggs. This isn't just decoration. It's a gift to the quiet workers of your garden, the pollinators that help your flowers bloom and your vegetables grow. And it's a gentle reminder that even an old can once tossed aside still has a place, still has a purpose, just like us. There's something sweet about the toys our children once played with: chipped wheels, sun-faded colors, the quiet story of years gone by. Maybe it's a little dump truck left forgotten in the garage, or a toy from the thrift store shelf that still has a spark of life. With a touch of care and a few Dollar Tree finds, even that old truck can become a delightful garden showpiece. Start with a plastic or metal toy truck. One with a working or open bed is ideal. Give it a good cleaning inside and out. If it's going to live outdoors, drill a few small holes in the bottom of the truck bed for drainage. If drilling isn't an option, just place a few small pebbles or broken bits of pottery in the bottom before adding soil. This helps prevent water from collecting at the bottom. Next, fill the bed with potting soil and tuck in a few small succulents. Dollar Tree often carries artificial succulents if you prefer no maintenance. But if you're using real ones, choose varieties that don't mind shallow soil, like hens and chicks, echeveria, or small sedums. Arrange them snugly, adding little stones or moss for texture and charm. To bring even more personality, add a tiny garden gnome or fairy figurine from the Dollar Tree. You can even wrap a ribbon or some twine around the front bumper. Place your truck on a garden path, porch step, or beside a flower bed where it'll surprise and delight anyone who passes by. There's something quietly joyful about turning a child's toy into something beautiful and new. It's like the truck gets to play again, but this time in the garden. And maybe that's what we're doing too. Giving new purpose to the pieces of life we once thought were finished. Finding joy again in small and unexpected places. Do you ever find yourself searching for your garden gloves, one on the porch rail, the other tucked behind a pot, or drying on a fence post? It happens to all of us. But with a dash of creativity and a few simple supplies from the Dollar Tree, even this small nuisance can turn into a clever little joy. To make a magnetic glove holder, start with an old metal cookie sheet. You might already have one with a few scratches or stains perfect. Give it a good clean and dry it well. If you want to add a splash of color, paint the cookie sheet with outdoor acrylic paint in a cheerful tone, perhaps sage green, soft lavender, or sunflower yellow. Let it dry completely. Now take your gardening gloves, preferably ones with a fabric cuff, and attach a small, strong magnet to the back of each glove using a hot glue gun. Dollar Tree often sells packs of small round magnets, perfect for this. Just a dab of glue on the back cuff of the glove is enough to hold the magnet securely. Be sure it's firmly attached, but not so stiff that it damages the glove's flexibility. Once your gloves are magnet ready, mount your cookie sheet horizontally on a garden fence wall, or even the side of a shed. Use sturdy nail screws or wall hooks. Then simply press your gloves against the board. They'll stick right in place. Easy to grab, easy to dry, and always where you left them. This little DIY isn't just about organization. It's about making space in your day for ease. No more bending to search behind planters, no more forgetting where you left them. Just a neat, cheerful solution that makes your garden routine smoother and calmer. Because the little things like where your gloves go are often what make the biggest difference in how a day unfolds. And organizing those little things with heart, that's a kind of care that goes far beyond tidiness. That's the kind of care that makes a house and a garden feel like home. Have you ever spotted a ladybug resting on a leaf and felt for just a moment like the world had paused in its kindness? Ladybugs carry a quiet magic with them, symbols of good luck, gentle protectors of the garden. And with a few smooth stones, a little paint, and a steady hand, you can invite that same feeling into your garden, all year round. Start by gathering smooth round rocks, ones small enough to hold in your palm. You can find them in your yard or pick up a bag from the Dollar Tree. Wash them thoroughly and let them dry completely before painting. Choose a bright red outdoor acrylic paint as your base color and cover each rock evenly. A second coat may be needed to make the color really shine. Once the red paint is dry, take black paint and draw a line down the center. This will become the wings. Add little black dots on either side, just like the spots on a real ladybug. Don't worry about perfection. Nature isn't perfect, and that's part of the charm. At one end, paint a small black semicircle for the head, and then using white paint or a paint marker, add 2 tiny eyes. When everything has dried fully, consider sealing the rocks with a clear outdoor sealant spray. This helps protect the paint from weather and lets your ladybugs last through the seasons. Now comes the fun part, placing them. Tuck them near flower pots, nestle them at the base of rose bushes, or line them along the edge of a garden bed. They peek out like little surprises, bringing joy to anyone who notices. Children love them. So do birds, butterflies, and old souls who still believe in simple wonders. Creating something like this isn't just about decorating. It's about storytelling. Each ladybug you paint becomes a reminder that even the smallest hand-painted moment can brighten a space. That color and play don't have an age limit. That charm doesn't cost much at all. And as those little red dots gather in your garden, they'll remind you that joy, like ladybugs, tends to show up when we slow down enough to see it. There's something timeless about an herb on the windowsill, a pot of mint for your iced tea, basil for summer salads, or rosemary for that favorite roast. And when those herbs sit in containers you've crafted yourself, there's a deeper joy in every leaf you pick. With just a few Dollar Tree items and a little time, you can wrap even the plainest plastic pot in warmth and rustic charm. Begin by choosing a few small plastic pots from Dollar Tree. Any size will do, but it helps to pick ones that aren't too tapered. The straighter the sides, the easier the wrapping. You'll also need a roll of nautical rope, which Dollar Tree often stocks in their craft or floral section, along with a hot glue gun and a handful of glue sticks. Start at the very bottom of the pot, placing a dab of hot glue along the edge. Press the end of the rope firmly into it, holding for a moment as it sets. Then continue wrapping the rope tightly around the pot, gluing every few inches to ensure it stays snug and even. You can cover the pot entirely for a uniform look, or stop halfway up for a two-tone finish, a lovely balance between rustic and modern. Once wrapped, it's time to personalize. Pick up a few mini chalkboard tags or wooden plant labels from the craft section. Write the name of each herb: thyme, parsley, lavender with chalk or a chalk marker. You can tie the tag around the pot with twine or glue it directly on. Now fill your finished pots with potting soil and your chosen herbs. These rope-wrapped containers are ideal for sunny kitchen windows, cozy patios, or even indoor plant stands. They're light enough to move easily and charming enough to double as decor. But what makes this project truly special isn't just how it looks. It's what it reminds you of: the beauty of tending to something each day. The comfort of using your hands to shape, grow, and nourish. The fact that with less than $5, you can create something that feels rich in both flavor and feeling. These aren't just herb pots. They're little reminders that life like a garden is made better by the simple things we wrap in care. Some evenings call for quiet, for sitting on the porch with a gentle breeze and a little light glowing beside your chair. The kind of light that doesn't shout but whispers. That kind of light can come from something as humble as a mason jar, a solar light, and a few sparkling gems, all found at the Dollar Tree. To make your own glowing lanterns, pick up a mason jar, a small bag of glass gems, and a solar garden light. The solar lights at Dollar Tree often come with a plastic stake. For this project, we'll only need the top part with a solar panel and light bulb. Begin by removing the stake, then fill the jar about 3/4 full with glass gems. These little clear or colored stones catch and reflect light beautifully, like dewdrops frozen in time. Nestle the solar light top into the mouth of the jar. Most fit snugly right into the rim. If yours is a bit loose, you can wrap the base of the light with twine or tape until it rests securely. Now for the finishing touch, wrap a length of jute twine around the jar's neck. You can go around a few times and tie it off in a small bow, or just knot it simply for that cozy handmade feel. If your fingers allow, try adding a tiny wooden bead or charm, just a little something personal. Place your finished lanterns along garden paths, on patio tables, or nestled among flower beds. During the day, the solar panel will soak in sunlight, and by evening, your lantern will come to life, glowing gently through the gems, casting soft patterns across the ground, like fireflies made of glass. These lights aren't bright in the electric sense, but they offer something far more beautiful: mood, memory, and meaning. They remind us that light doesn't have to be loud to be lovely. That something made by hand, even for just a few dollars, can hold more peace than any store-bought gadget. And as the sun dips below the trees and your jar begins to glow, you'll see it clearly: a bit of light, a touch of twine, and a whole lot of heart. That's what makes a garden shine. Sometimes all it takes is water light and a few scattered petals to bring a sense of calm to your day. You don't need a fountain or a fancy setup. Just a bowl, a few blooms, and a soft glow dancing across the surface. This floating candle project is as simple as it is beautiful, and like so many things we love, it begins at the Dollar Tree. Start with a shallow glass bowl. Clear is best, so the light can shine through. You can often find glass serving dishes or centerpiece bowls in the kitchen aisle at Dollar Tree. Clean the bowl well, then fill it with water, leaving about an inch of space from the rim. Now for the petals. If you have roses or marigolds in your garden, you can gently pluck a few fresh petals and scatter them across the surface of the water. If not, faux silk. Flower heads from Dollar Tree work just as beautifully and can be reused all season long. Choose soft pinks for calm, sunny yellows for joy, or deep purples for richness, whatever feels right to you. Next, add Dollar Tree's floating LED candles. These are battery-powered, flameless, and safe, perfect for windy patios or late-night dinners under the stars. Gently place the candles in the bowl among the petals, letting them float freely. When turned on, they flicker gently, casting soft light over the water and creating tiny, glowing reflections that ripple with every breeze. Place your bowl on a patio table, porch rail, or even inside by a windowsill. It brings instant serenity to wherever it rests, like a miniature pond, quiet and glowing. You can even use it as a dinner centerpiece surrounded by fresh herbs or seashells. What makes this project so special isn't just how it looks, though. It's truly lovely. It's the feeling it gives, like a deep breath, like warm light on cool water, like something made not for practicality but for peace. And when you sit beside it, you may find your thoughts soften, your shoulders lower, your smile return. That's the kind of beauty you can't buy in a store. But you can build it, dear friend, gently, creatively, and with great love. One candle, one petal, one quiet moment at a time. There's something deeply comforting about owls, wise, watchful, quietly perched in the trees like guardians of the garden. And with just a few simple pieces from the Dollar Tree and a touch of creativity, you can invite one of your own into your space, not with feathers or flight, but with a painted plate and a warm handmade smile. To start, choose a plain plastic or melamine plate from the Dollar Tree. White or tan works beautifully, but any color can become a canvas. Clean and dry it thoroughly. This plate will form the owl's round, charming body. Now gather your owl's face, 2 bottle caps for eyes, metal or plastic, 2 buttons for pupils, and a small triangle-shaped piece of felt or paper for the beak. Dollar Tree often carries small packs of buttons and felt in their craft section. Use a strong adhesive or hot glue to attach the bottle caps near the top center of the plate. Then place the buttons inside each cap to complete the eyes. Glue your beak right between and just below them. To make wings, you can use real or faux leaves, cut shapes from fabric scraps, or even fashion soft curves from construction paper or twine. Arrange one wing on each side of the plate and glue them down gently, giving your owl a bit of personality. For texture and flair, add little feathers, scraps of lace, or tiny flowers around the edge, whatever your heart calls for. To hang your owl, glue or tape a loop of sturdy ribbon or jute to the back. Find a cozy garden spot, the trunk of an old tree, a wooden fence, or even your back door, and let your owl perch there, watching over your blooms and birds below. This project may seem whimsical, but there's a quiet story tucked inside it. The owl is a symbol of seeing clearly, of listening quietly, of aging gracefully with presence and peace. And when you make one with your own hands, it becomes more than just decor. It becomes a reflection of your creativity, your patience, your joy in giving new life to simple things. So let this little owl remind you, you are still wise, you are still watching, and your hands still know how to bring beauty into the world. Some days it just takes one elegant touch to lift a space from ordinary to extraordinary. And you don't need to buy designer planters to get that high-end look. With a plastic pot, a strip of Dollar Tree Backsplash tile, and a bit of care, you can turn something simple into a shining statement of creativity and grace. Begin by choosing one or more basic plastic planters from Dollar Tree, the kind that often come in neutral tones, lightweight, and easy to carry. Clean them thoroughly so the adhesive will stick well. Then head to the home aisle for a pack of self-adhesive Backsplash tiles. These often come in metallic finishes, mosaic glass styles, or faux stone textures that add shimmer and sophistication. First, measure the height and circumference of your pot to determine how much tile you'll need. Most Dollar Tree tiles are flexible enough to bend slightly around curved surfaces, but flat-sided containers work especially well. Carefully cut the tile sheets to size with regular scissors, no fancy tools required. Peel the backing off the tile and slowly press it onto the side of your planter, smoothing as you go to avoid bubbles or uneven edges. You can cover the entire surface for a bold, modern look, or create a decorative band around the middle for a subtle, classy finish. Take your time. This step is soothing, almost like piecing together a gentle puzzle. Once complete, fill your planter with soil and your favorite blooms. Petunias, geraniums, trailing ivy, or even a compact rosemary bush will all look lovely housed in this new home. As the sun moves across your patio or balcony, the backsplash surface will catch the light shimmering softly, adding brightness to even the quietest corner. This DIY is especially good for those who rent or frequently rearrange their garden space. The planter is lightweight, removable, and refreshable. Change the tile design seasonally, or create matching sets as gifts for friends. But beyond all that, there's a quiet joy in taking something plain and giving it dignity. In letting your own style shine even on a budget. In saying, I still have taste, I still have vision. I can still make something beautiful. Because your creativity doesn't fade with age. In fact, it deepens just like light on tile, more luminous, more meaningful, and always ready to shine again. Sometimes the most beautiful gardens don't grow outward. They grow up. When space is tight, or you simply want to add a burst of color to a bare wall or fence, a vertical garden made from recycled soda bottles and a few Dollar Tree touches can become a vibrant showpiece. without costing more than a few dollars. Begin by gathering several empty soda bottles. The 1-liter or 2-liter sizes work best. Rinse them thoroughly and remove any labels. Then, using a pair of sturdy scissors or a utility knife, carefully cut a rectangular opening along the side of each bottle. This will be the planting space. Leave enough plastic on the sides to keep the structure firm and be sure to poke a few drainage holes in the bottom. Now grab some colorful Dollar Tree gems or decorative stones and glue them to the outer surface of each bottle. You can create swirls, stripes, or random bursts of sparkle, whatever suits your mood. These embellishments catch the light and add a playful, cheerful feel to your planters. Once decorated and dry, fill each bottle with potting soil. Choose small, shallow-rooted plants like herb succulents or trailing ivy. Faux plants from Dollar Tree also work well if you prefer a no-maintenance version. To mount your garden, find a sturdy wooden board fence panel or pallet, and secure it vertically in your desired location, maybe along a balcony, on a sunny porch wall, or tucked beside the tool shed. Use zip ties, screws, or heavy-duty glue to attach each bottle horizontally to the surface, spacing them evenly for airflow and light. As you step back, you'll begin to see the transformation, a wall once bare, now blooming with texture, life, and color. It's like painting with plants. But more than that, this DIY reflects something important: your ability to see beauty where others see trash. To build upward even when space or time or energy feels limited. To keep growing, always. And when you water those little green bursts or run your fingers across the gems sparkling in the morning light, you'll know this isn't just a garden. It's your imagination made visible. And it's blooming. Have you ever passed by a porch at dusk where flowers gently sway and a soft golden light glows among the petals? It feels like magic, and with just a few budget-friendly items from Dollar Tree, you can bring that kind of quiet wonder to your own outdoor space. To begin, pick up a small wire hanging basket, a coconut fiber liner, and a solar garden light. At the garden aisle, look for a trailing flower, something soft and graceful like petunias vinca or faux ivy if you'd prefer maintenance-free beauty. Start by removing the stake from the solar light. You'll only need the top portion that holds the panel and bulb. Then line your wire basket with the coconut liner. These liners give structure to the soil and add a lovely natural texture. Trim it to fit snugly if needed. Fill the basket with potting soil, gently pressing it into the liner. Arrange your plants so they drape slightly over the sides, creating a cascading effect. Nestle the roots firmly into the soil and give them a little drink of water to settle them in. Now it's time to add the glow. Using a zip tie or a bit of floral wire, attach the solar light to the hanging chain or the side of the basket. Be sure it's positioned upright and exposed to plenty of sunlight. This ensures it charges fully during the day. As evening comes, the light will shine softly over the flowers, illuminating them like a garden lantern. You can hang this glowing basket from a shepherd's hook, a porch ceiling, or even from a low tree branch. Wherever you place it, it will catch the eye, not because it's loud or flashy, but because it's warm, thoughtful, and inviting. This kind of project is especially meaningful because it blends two things we cherish: nature and light. The living beauty of plants and the gentle assurance of a lamp at night. Together they say someone lives here with care. Someone tends this space with heart. And that someone, dear friend, is you. Whether you make 1 or 5, these hanging solar baskets become little beacons, shining reminders that your hands still bring light to the world. Do you ever forget where you planted your basil? Or wonder if that tiny sprout is cilantro or parsley? It happens to all of us, especially when the garden begins to flourish and every leaf looks delightfully green. But here's a sweet and simple solution. Handmade chalkboard garden markers that are as charming as they are useful. You'll only need 3 things from Dollar Tree: mini chalkboards, wooden craft sticks or small garden stakes, and a hot glue gun. If you'd like to dress them up, you can also grab some twine or decorative washi tape, but even plain, these markers are wonderfully practical. Start by heating up your glue gun. While it warms, take a chalkboard and a craft stick, and decide on the best placement, usually centered with the chalkboard resting horizontally on top of the stick like a signpost. Add a line of hot glue to the back of the chalkboard and press it firmly against the top of the stick. Hold it in place for a few seconds until it sets. Now for the fun part: labeling. Using a piece of chalk or a chalk marker, write the name of your herb or vegetable. Keep it simple: tomatoes, mint, chives. You can even draw a little leaf or doodle to make it your own. If you make a mistake or want to rotate crops next season, just wipe the board clean and start again. Once labeled, press the stick gently into the soil next to each plant. These markers work beautifully in pots, raised beds, window boxes, or even inside near a sunny kitchen window. Not only do they help you keep track of what's growing, they also add a rustic personal touch to your space, like handwritten notes tucked into your garden beds. They're easy to read, easy to replace, and make your growing space feel cared for and organized. And there's something quietly satisfying in seeing your garden labeled with your own hand, a sign that this patch of earth is yours, shaped by your time and your choices. Because growing things like life is a bit easier when we know where things are rooted. These little markers say, "I see you, Basil. I remember you, time." And they remind us too that in the small acts of tending, labeling, and noticing, we're tending to ourselves. Sometimes a garden needs a little whimsy, something unexpected that makes you smile every time you pass by. And nothing brings charm quite like a silly green frog made from old CDs in a plastic bowl. He won't croak, won't hop, but he'll sit proudly among your flowers with a quiet sparkle, a joyful reminder that playfulness has no age. To begin, you'll need a plastic bowl in green, if you can find it, a couple of old CDs, a bit of paint hot glue, and some googly eyes. All items you can find at Dollar Tree or reuse from around the house. Flip the bowl upside down. This becomes the frog's body. Now take 2 CDs and cut each one in half. You'll end up with 4 curved pieces. These will be the frog's legs. Be careful when cutting. CDs can be brittle, so wear gloves and use sturdy scissors. Using hot glue, attach the curved CD pieces to the underside of the bowl, spacing them like little legs sticking out in 4 directions. The shiny surface of the CDs will reflect light in a fun, unexpected way, perfect for catching the eye of guests and garden visitors alike. Now it's time for a coat of paint. Cover the bowl and CD legs in a cheerful green outdoor paint. Let it dry fully before moving on. Once dry, glue on 2 googly eyes at the top center of the bowl, or make your own eyes with buttons, marbles, or even bottle caps. And just like that, your garden frog is ready for his new home. Tuck him near a flower bed, perch him at the edge of a porch step, or place him next to a bird bath. Wherever he goes, he'll bring a little bit of joy and a lot of personality. This DIY is lighthearted and a bit silly, yes, but it's also healing. It reminds us to play again, to make things not for utility, but for delight, to laugh at ourselves and create simply because it brings a smile. There's a childlike freedom in crafting something so delightfully useless and so utterly wonderful. So go ahead, make a frog with shiny CD legs. Give him a name. Say hello every morning. Because gardens like life are better when we leave space for a little mischief, a little sparkle, and a few unexpected friends. There's something peaceful about a plant gently swaying in the breeze, especially when it's cradled in something you've made with your own hands. Macrame may sound fancy, but with just a bit of twine and a few simple knots, you can create a beautiful hanging garden accent that adds both charm and space-saving practicality to your patio or porch. All you'll need for this project is some yarn or twine from the Dollar Tree, a small plastic planter or bowl, and a pair of scissors. That's it. No special tools, no strain, just a little quiet time and a few gentle motions. Start by cutting 4 equal lengths of twine, each about 3 to 4 feet long, depending on how high you'd like your hanger to hang. Hold all 4 pieces together and tie a large knot near one end, leaving a small loop above the knot for hanging. This will be the top of your hanger. Next, lay the twine strands flat and separate them into 4 pairs. About 6 to 8 inches down from the top knot, tie a simple knot in each pair. Don't pull too tight, you want a little flexibility and flow in the final shape. Now take 1 strand from one pair and 1 from the pair beside it and tie another knot 2 to 3 inches below the first round. Repeat this step around the circle, which helps form a cradle for the pot to rest in. You'll now have a small net-like structure. Gather all the loose ends together and tie them in another secure knot. This becomes the base that holds your planter. Trim any uneven tails and your macrame hanger is ready to use. Place a lightweight Dollar Tree pot or faux plant inside the cradle. If you'd like to grow something real, go for a compact succulent or herb in a plastic liner pot. It keeps weight low and care easy. Then hang your creation from a ceiling hook porch beam or a shepherd's hook in the garden. There's such grace in this little project. It doesn't take much, just twine and time. And yet it gives your plants a lift quite literally and fills unused space with softness and life. Best of all, it reminds you that your hands are still capable of making beautiful things. Of tying, holding, balancing not just plants, but your thoughts, your peace, your sense of self. So let it swing gently in the summer air. Let it catch the sunlight. And let it whisper what you already know deep down. You're still growing. And you're still capable of lifting lovely things. You've likely held many spoons in your life, stirring tea, serving holiday dishes, feeding little ones. And now, even the old ones hiding in the back of a drawer can begin a new chapter. Not in the kitchen, but in your garden. This sweet and simple DIY turns worn-out spoons into colorful, character-filled plant tags that will bring both order and charm to your growing space. Start by collecting a few old metal spoons. If you don't have any to spare, check your local thrift store or Dollar Tree. They often have mismatched cutlery perfect for projects like this. Give them a good wash and dry, then spread them out on a protective surface for painting. Using acrylic outdoor paint coat, the scoop of each spoon in a bright color, think cheerful yellows, cool blues, or soft greens. 2 coats will help the color stay vibrant. Once dry, take a fine-tip permanent marker or a paint pen and neatly write the name of the plant. Each spoon will label lavender, tomatoes, mint. Add little swirls, vines, or dots if you'd like a touch of playfulness. For extra durability, especially if you're placing them outdoors, consider sealing your painted spoons with a clear acrylic spray. It'll help the paint and lettering last through sun and rain. To finish the look, gently press the handle of each spoon into the soil beside its corresponding plant. The spoon head acts as a tiny upright sign, catching the light and helping you identify your herbs or flowers at a glance. You can even take this project a step further. If you'd like to store the tags when not in use, or keep them tidy on a garden wall, glue small magnets to the back of each spoon and hang them on a metal tray or recycled cookie sheet. This not only makes a cute display, but also helps you rotate and reuse the tags easily. These spoon markers are more than labels. They're little tributes to resourcefulness, to memory, to the quiet art of turning yesterday's tools into today's beauty. And every time you see one glinting in the morning sun, or standing proudly in a pot of basil, you'll remember, nothing is too small to repurpose. No object is too ordinary to shine again, and neither are you. Your garden knows this, your hands know this, and these spoons, now full of purpose, once more know it too. There's something special about watching birds flutter around your garden, the gentle flit of wings, the soft chirping in the early morning light. A painted birdhouse does more than give them shelter. It turns your garden into a home for life, for movement, for little songs that brighten your day. And the beauty of it is you can build one that's both colorful and kind using nothing more than Dollar Tree supplies and your own 2 hands. Start by picking up an unfinished wooden birdhouse from Dollar Tree. They often have charming shapes, little peaked roofs, and rounded door holes just waiting to be brought to life. You'll also want waterproof outdoor paint, a few brushes, and any decorative extras you like: beads, gems, buttons, or even small wooden shapes. Begin by painting your birdhouse in a color that makes you smile. Soft pastels feel peaceful, while bold primaries give cheerful energy. You might choose natural wood tones to blend with the trees, or go whimsical with teal blues, sunflower yellows, or lavender. There's no right or wrong, just what feels good to you. Once your base color is dry, the fun begins. Add decorative touches: a ring of beads around the entry hole, a painted heart on the roof, or little faux flowers on the side. Use hot glue to attach anything securely, especially if your birdhouse will live outdoors. You can also personalize each one. Write your grandchild's name, a favorite phrase like "welcome home" or a simple heart. These details turn a simple project into something deeply meaningful both to you and the birds who may call it home. When everything is dry, loop a sturdy piece of twine or ribbon through the top of the birdhouse and hang it from a tree branch, a shepherd's hook, or your porch rail. Place it somewhere with a bit of shade and shelter. Birds appreciate privacy just like we do. And then, wait. You may see a curious sparrow inspecting the new real estate or a pair of finches peeking in. Maybe they'll nest, maybe not. But the act of hanging the birdhouse, of offering that space, is a gift in itself. Because every garden is better with life. Every porch is sweeter with song. And every heart grows softer when we build something not just for ourselves, but for others, no matter how small. And maybe, just maybe, as the birds sing above your handmade roof, you'll remember that you too are still creating shelter. Still offering beauty. Still painting joy into the corners of the world. Sometimes a garden needs just a hint of mystery. Something that catches the breeze, sparkles in the sun, and softly sways as you pass through. A beaded curtain does exactly that. With a few simple supplies from Dollar Tree, you can create a playful divider that turns any space, porch, arbor, or garden nook into something magical, breezy, and alive with color. Start by gathering a variety of beads from the craft aisle at Dollar Tree. Look for different shapes, sizes, and colors. Clear, translucent, or even metallic ones will catch the sunlight beautifully. You'll also need sturdy string fishing line or thin twine, and a wooden dowel or recycled curtain rod to anchor your curtain. Begin by cutting several lengths of your chosen string, each one about 3 to 4 feet long, depending on how high you want the curtain to hang. Thread the beads onto each string in whatever pattern feels good, alternating shapes, keeping to one color per strand, or creating a rainbow. Leave a few inches of string at each end for tying. To keep the beads from sliding down, tie a secure knot after each one or every few inches. You can space them out for a lighter look, or group them tightly for a denser shimmer. There's no wrong way to do it. This project is all about flow and freedom. Once you've beaded all your strands, tie the top of each one evenly across your dowel or rod, spacing them just far enough apart so they move gently without tangling. Double knot each strand to keep it secure. Now find the perfect spot between 2 porch posts, across a trellis hanging from a low tree branch, or as a backdrop for your favorite garden bench. Use rope or hooks to suspend your beaded curtain in place. As the wind moves through, the beads will dance, catching sunlight, swaying softly, and even clinking gently like a wind chime. It adds motion, joy, and a sense of softness to any outdoor space. It separates areas without walls. It invites you to walk slowly and feel something different. But more than anything, it turns ordinary moments into something special, like walking through a curtain of color, like entering a space you've made sacred, like saying, "Here in this place, I've added something playful, something light, something that wasn't here before but now belongs." Because even the simplest string of beads can become a doorway to joy, and every strand you tie is a gentle reminder. Your garden doesn't need to be big to feel enchanting. It only needs your touch. Picture this: an early summer evening, the sky turning lavender, your garden quiet and still. And in the center of your table, a softly glowing piece of art made from the simplest of things. A glass vase, a candle holder, and your hands. That's all it takes to create a frosted glass garden centerpiece that turns any meal or moment into something special. To begin, gather a few glass or clear plastic items from Dollar Tree. A vase, a small plate, and a candle holder work beautifully. The idea is to stack them from largest to smallest, creating a tiered effect that feels both classic and elegant. Make sure the surfaces are clean and dry. Next, you'll need E6000 glue or another strong adhesive. This ensures a sturdy hold that can handle a breeze or gentle bump. Apply a generous ring of glue to the bottom of your middle piece, let's say the candle holder, and center it on the plate. Then glue the vase on top. Use painter's tape to hold everything in place while it dries, and let it cure fully according to the instructions, usually 24-72 hours for a permanent bond. Now for the magic touch: frosted glass spray paint. Available at most craft stores, it gives any clear surface a soft, misty finish that diffuses light and adds a dreamy, ethereal quality. Spray the entire stacked piece evenly, following the can's instructions and spraying in a well-ventilated area. Let it dry thoroughly. Once finished, place your centerpiece on a garden table or outdoor shelf. Add a battery-operated tea light or LED candle inside for a gentle evening glow. You could even tuck in fresh flowers, faux succulents, or seasonal decorations like pine cones or seashells, depending on the time of year. This simple project does more than add beauty to your garden. It reminds you that even ordinary things, a vase, a bit of glue, a few quiet minutes, can become something extraordinary when treated with care. And perhaps that's what makes this centerpiece so meaningful. It's not flashy, it's not expensive, but it's yours, built gently, thoughtfully, layer by layer. Just like you've built a life, a home, a garden. So, as the candle flickers inside its frosted shell and the sky darkens into stars, let yourself rest in that soft light. Let it glow, not just on the table, but in your heart. You are still creating beauty, and that beauty still shines. Do you remember those little wooden crates we used to see at fruit markets or craft fairs? Weathered, simple, and full of possibilities. Well tucked inside every tiny Dollar Tree wooden crate is the potential for something meaningful, like a miniature garden sign with a quote that warms your heart every time you pass it. To begin, pick up a few small wooden crates from Dollar Tree. Using a flathead screwdriver or small pry bar, gently take them apart. The goal is to remove the slats without splitting the wood. Go slow and enjoy the process. Each piece has its own grain, its own story. Once disassembled, choose 3 or 4 similar-sized slats and lay them side by side horizontally. This forms the face of your mini sign. Then take 2 smaller slats and glue or staple them vertically across the back to hold the main pieces together, just like a miniature wooden palette. Now comes the creative part. Paint the front of the sign with a soft coat of chalkboard paint or a pastel acrylic color. White sage green or dusty blue work beautifully outdoors. Once dry, use chalk paint pens or a fine tip marker to write your favorite garden phrases. Here are some you might love: bloom where you're planted, herbs and happiness. Take it slow, grow with love. Even just the word welcome feels like a blessing when written by hand. If you like, add small details: a twine bow, dried flowers, a tiny painted bee or ladybug. These small touches give your sign personality, like a quiet signature. Now decide how to display it. You can lean it against a planter, prop it on a shelf, or hang it with twine from a shepherd's hook or porch rail. Some folks even glue their signs to wooden stakes and place them among garden beds like little sentinels. What makes these signs so lovely isn't just the wood or the words, it's the way they speak for you when you're not there. A sign that says "grow slow" tells the world this garden isn't rushed. Neither is this gardener. In every garden there are stories, and sometimes a little wooden sign is how we tell them. So go ahead, make a few, change them with the seasons, gift one to a neighbor, and let these tiny palettes whisper what your heart already knows. That even the quietest corner of a garden deserves a voice. And yours still has so many beautiful things to say. Have you ever wanted to give your garden a fresh look for the season without buying new pots or lifting heavy planters? Here's a trick that's as stylish as it is simple: fabric napkin wraps. With just a few Dollar Tree napkins and a roll of Velcro tape, you can give your containers a completely new personality. No paint, no mess, no heavy lifting. Start by choosing fabric napkins from Dollar Tree. They often come in packs of 2 or 4, and you'll find a variety of colors and patterns, from classic florals to bold checks to soft pastels. Select a few that fit your mood or the season. You'll also need adhesive Velcro tape, both the hook and loop sides, which is often stocked in their sewing or craft aisle. Lay your napkin flat and measure it around the circumference of your planter. If it's too long, simply fold or trim the edges. Then attach one side of the Velcro to one end of the napkin and the matching side to the opposite end. This creates a reusable band that will wrap around your pot snugly. Gently wrap the napkin around your planter at its widest section, whether that's the middle or just under the rim, and fasten the Velcro ends together. That's it. You've just given your old pot a brand new outfit. Want to switch things up? No problem. Just peel off the napkin band and pop on a different one. Think pale florals for spring, deep reds or oranges for fall, icy blues for winter, and sunflower yellow for summer. All with the same pot, never having to dig or repot anything. This project is perfect for those who prefer no-fuss, no-lift solutions. You don't have to bend or carry anything, just change the wrapper and step back to admire your handiwork. But more than that, these napkin bands do something sweet. They let your garden reflect your moods, your memories, your seasons of life. They're like scarves for your pots, cozy, changeable, expressive. Because as we grow older, we start to appreciate the beauty of small adjustments. We don't need to overhaul everything to feel refreshed. Sometimes all it takes is a new pattern, a softer tone, a fresh layer of color. And with each napkin you tie in place, you're reminded change can be gentle, beauty can be simple, and creativity is still yours, one fold at a time. Do you remember the stories you used to tell, the ones about tiny fairies, hidden doors in tree trunks, and magical creatures tending to gardens while we slept? There's something so comforting about that gentle sense of wonder. And with just a few Dollar Tree treasures, you can bring that storybook magic to life in a single flower pot. To begin, choose a medium-sized planter, one that's easy to reach without bending or lifting too much. Fill it halfway with potting soil, making a smooth, level surface. Then head to the Dollar Tree's seasonal aisle, where you'll often find miniature fairy garden figurines, tiny gnomes, mushrooms, animals, or even a little bridge or cottage. These are the stars of your scene. Start by placing your tallest figures near the back of the pot. This helps create depth. Then arrange the smaller elements toward the front, tucking them gently into the soil so they stay upright. Now take a handful of soft green moss available in bags at most craft or floral aisles and spread it across the soil like a lush miniature lawn. You can nestle it around the figurines, press it along the edges, or build tiny mounds to add shape. Add finishing touches with small river rocks, bits of bark, or even a pathway made from pebbles or crushed shells. Some people like to tuck in a tiny LED fairy light strand for evening sparkle. Just be sure it's battery operated and safe for use around moisture. Place your fairy pot on a patio table windowsill or garden shelf where it can be admired up close. It doesn't take much space, just a square foot of soil and a little imagination. But what it brings is something deeper. It reminds you to play again, to build a world that doesn't need to be big to feel magical, to create a space that's just for joy, no function, no fuss, just delight. And it reminds others too. Neighbors, grandchildren, visitors, they'll lean in, smile, maybe even make up their own story about the gnome who lives there. It's a moment shared, a gentle bridge between generations and imaginations. So let your fairy garden grow, dear friend. Let it whisper its quiet tales among your herbs and flowers. Let it say, not loudly, but with soft conviction, that wonder still lives here. Right here, in your garden, in your hands, and always in your heart. There are some things we just can't throw away. A child's little rain boot, scuffed at the toes, maybe with faded dinosaurs or flowers printed on the side. It may no longer fit small feet, but it still holds something precious, memories of puddles play and growing up. And now, with a little soil and care, it can hold something new, life, color, and a playful charm for your garden. To make your own boot planter, begin with a single child's boot. If you don't have one tucked away, thrift shops and garage sales often have them for $1 or less. Rubber or plastic styles work best, especially ones that can stand upright on their own. First, give the boot a good cleaning inside and out. Then, using a small hand drill or a nail and hammer, poke 3 or 4 small holes into the sole to allow water to drain. This keeps your plants healthy and prevents soggy roots. Next, add a thin layer of small stones or gravel to the bottom. This helps further with drainage. Then fill the boot about 3/4 full with potting soil. Now for the fun part, planting. You can go with something simple and low maintenance like marigolds, pansies, or small succulents. Or if you're planting with kids or grandkids, choose something fun and fast-growing like sweet alyssum or trailing lobelia. Once planted, gently pat the soil around the roots and water lightly. Add some personality with a ribbon tied around the top, a chalkboard label, or a little tag that says, "Bloom" or "Welcome." You can even wrap a bit of twine or jute around the ankle for a rustic finish. Place your boot in a spot where it will get sun, perhaps at the base of a tree beside a porch step or nestled in a corner of a flower bed. It's small enough to move easily and special enough to make anyone smile. And as the flowers spill from the top like curly hair, or as the leaves trail down like little legs, you'll see it for what it is, not just a planter, but a memory in bloom. Because in this old boot lives a second life, a second purpose, a second season of usefulness and joy. Just like so many things, and just like so many of us, still full of beauty, still ready to grow. There's something irresistible about bees, their tiny, buzzing bodies bouncing from bloom to bloom, never in a rush, always with purpose. They bring life to every garden they touch, and they remind us that even the smallest workers can create sweet, lasting things. With just a few smooth stones and some paint, you can invite a bit of that joyful energy into your garden, no stings involved. To begin, gather a handful of smooth, flat rocks. You can find them in your own yard, at a nearby trail, or grab a small bag of river stones from Dollar Tree. Clean them thoroughly and let them dry completely before painting. Using a bright yellow acrylic or outdoor paint, coat the entire top surface of the rock. Let it dry, then apply a second coat if needed for full coverage. Once your yellow base is ready, use black paint to create the bee's iconic stripes. 2 or 3 horizontal lines across the body are enough. Paint a small black circle at one end for the head, and using a white paint pen or the tip of a small brush, add 2 little dots for eyes. If you'd like to go a step further, paint on simple white wings, a pair of teardrop shapes on either side of the body, or leave the wings to imagination and focus on the cheerful color contrast. Let everything dry completely, then seal the design with a clear outdoor sealant to protect against weather. Now it's time to place your bees. Nestle them at the base of flower pots, scatter them along garden pathways, or gather a group beneath a leafy plant like a little buzzing family. Wherever they go, they'll bring smiles, a pop of color and personality among the greens and browns of soil and stem. You can also use these bee rocks as gifts. Place one on a neighbor's porch, tuck one into a friend's garden bed, or let the grandchildren paint a few of their own. It's a project that doesn't just decorate, it connects. It invites others into your joy. Because bees, after all, are not solitary. They are part of something larger. They build together, they bloom together. And so do we. So let these painted bees remind you of your role in this gentle garden life. A maker, a nourisher, a bringer of quiet beauty. Still buzzing with purpose, still sweet with creativity. Even now, especially now, if you've ever opened a can of soup and thought, maybe I shouldn't throw this away just yet, you're not alone. There's something about the humble tin can, its simplicity, its shape, its sturdiness that invites a second life. And when stacked, painted, and filled with cheerful greens, they become a vibrant vertical garden tower that's as thrifty as it is delightful. To begin, collect several clean, empty food cans of similar size, 3 to 5, is a good start. Remove any paper labels and glue residue, then wash and dry them thoroughly. Check for any sharp edges and gently sand them down or cover with a bit of masking tape for safety. Now for the fun part, painting. Choose a few of your favorite bright shades. Think coral pinks, sunflower yellows, grassy greens, and coat each can in a cheerful color using acrylic or spray paint. This part is especially fun to do outside on a sunny afternoon. Let the cans dry fully between coats. Once your cans are dry, it's time to assemble the tower. Using a strong adhesive like E6000, available at Dollar Tree or most craft stores, glue the cans on top of each other one at a time, placing the largest at the bottom and working upward. Be sure to stagger the angles slightly so the tower has visual interest and feels more whimsical. Before planting, poke a small hole or two in the bottom of each can for drainage. Then fill each one with a bit of potting soil and choose your greenery. Faux succulents from Dollar Tree are a beautiful maintenance-free option. But if you prefer living plants, opt for herbs or small annuals like sweet alyssum, creeping jenny, or baby basil. Nestle your tower onto a sturdy surface, a patio table, a front porch step, or tucked into a garden corner. As the plants grow and spill over the edges, your tower will soften into a waterfall of color and life. This little project brings big impact, especially for small spaces. It's vertical, portable, and full of personality. But it also tells a deeper story. That beauty doesn't require new things. That even yesterday's leftovers can rise again tall, proud, and blooming. That with a bit of glue and imagination, we can stack small joys into something extraordinary. So, go ahead and build up. Reach for the sky one can at a time. And let your garden remind you, as it always does, you're never too old, too simple, or too used to be part of something lovely. There's a peace that comes with the sound of trickling water, soft, rhythmic, like a lullaby sung by the earth itself. You don't need a grand stone fountain or expensive landscaping to enjoy that sound. With a few Dollar Tree bowls, a tiny pump, and a little love, you can create your own tabletop water fountain, a gentle centerpiece for your porch patio or sunny window nook. Start by selecting 3 plastic bowls from Dollar Tree in varying sizes, large, medium, and small. Choose a style or color you enjoy, or paint them later to suit your taste. You'll also need a small battery-operated or solar water pump. These are easy to find online or at garden centers and cost just a few dollars. The key is choosing one small enough to fit inside the bottom bowl. Begin by stacking your bowls into a tiered shape, largest on the bottom, smallest on top. You can nestle them at slight angles to allow water to cascade from one to the next, or place them directly atop each other for a more classic straight-line design. Use waterproof adhesive or hot glue to secure them, especially around the edges where the bowls meet, so they stay steady and aligned. Next, insert the pump into the bottom bowl, feeding the pump's small plastic tube upward through the center of the stacked bowls. Most pumps come with a flexible tube that can be trimmed to size. Once in place, fill the bottom bowl with water. Turn on the pump and watch as water is drawn up and spills down from tier to tier. To decorate your fountain, add smooth river rocks, faux water lilies, or even a strand of LED fairy lights around the base. If you love a natural look, tuck in some moss or trailing greenery. If you prefer whimsy, drop in a few colored gems or floating faux flowers. Place your fountain in a cozy corner of the garden near a rocking chair or reading bench or anywhere you pause to breathe. The soft sound of water brings calm coolness and a sense of presence. But more than that, this project is a reminder. That peace isn't loud. That stillness doesn't require grandeur. That a few stacked bowls and a steady hand can make something profoundly soothing. And as you sit nearby, tea in hand, sunlight warming your shoulders, you'll hear it, the fountain's whisper. A gentle, "You've done well." A quiet, "You are home." Because the water flows not just for beauty, but to remind you that you too are flowing. Still creating, still softening, still alive with quiet purpose. There's something magical about butterflies, how they appear silently, then suddenly flutter into view, weightless and full of color. They've always symbolized change, renewal, and delicate beauty. And now, with a few supplies from Dollar Tree and some gentle bending of wire, you can bring these winged wonders into your garden to stay. Start with a few metal wire hangers, the kind you may already have in your closet or can find at thrift stores. Using strong scissors or wire cutters, carefully unwind each hanger and straighten it out as best you can. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Gentle curves and irregularities add to the charm. Next, begin shaping the butterfly's wings. Use your hands to form 2 upper loops and 2 smaller lower loops, mimicking a butterfly's wing pattern. Then twist the ends together in the center to form the body. If this feels tricky, imagine you're drawing a butterfly in the air. It doesn't have to be perfect, just full of character. Now take Dollar Tree's mesh ribbon or colorful tulle fabric and wrap it around the wire wings. Choose bright yellows, soft blues, or shimmery pinks. Anything that brings joy to your heart. Use hot glue or floral wire to secure the fabric trimming, any extra. The material will give the wings texture, color, and that airy, floaty look we love about real butterflies. For the body, you can wrap the center with twine or ribbon, or even paint it for contrast. Add googly eyes, pipe cleaner antennae, or a few sparkly beads if you'd like. There's no limit to the whimsy here. To display your creation, attach the finished butterfly to a garden stake using wire or hot glue. You can also twist the body securely onto a branch shepherd's hook or fence post. Let them peek out from the edge of flower beds or perch near a bird bath where real butterflies often gather. These wire butterflies won't fly away. They'll stay through every season, catching sunlight and dancing with the wind, gentle companions to your blooms. But more than just decor, they're symbols of transformation, of lightness after heaviness, of quiet beauty that doesn't demand attention but receives it anyway. And every time you pass one, it may remind you that you too have wings, that you too are allowed to change shape, that it's never too late to bring more color into your life. So go ahead, make a few. Let them settle into your garden and into your spirit. Because sometimes the simplest wings can lift the heaviest hearts. If you have a feline friend, you know they don't need much to be happy. A patch of sunlight, a soft blanket, and a spot where they can watch the world go by. So why not treat them to their very own garden retreat? With a simple laundry basket and a few cozy touches from Dollar Tree, you can create a peaceful outdoor lounge your cat will love. Start with a plastic laundry basket, the kind with sturdy sides and open handles. Dollar Tree often carries these in different colors and sizes. Choose one wide enough for your kitty to stretch out, but low enough for them to step into comfortably. Line the inside generously with soft blankets or towels. You can use old ones from home or pick up a couple of fleece throws from the Dollar Tree. Fold and tuck them around the bottom and sides of the basket to create a plush, nest-like bed. If you'd like to go a step further, sew or glue the edges into place to keep things tidy and secure. Next, think about shade. You can drape a lightweight scarf or a cotton dish towel over one end of the basket to give your kitty a little roof from the sun. For a more permanent option, attach a small piece of fabric to the top edges using clothespins or Velcro strips, easy to remove and clean but perfect for hot days. Place your chill basket in a cool shaded corner of your porch or garden. Under a patio umbrella works well, or beneath a leafy tree. Just make sure it's somewhere your cat can feel safe, not too close to high-foot traffic or other curious animals. To make the space even more appealing, sprinkle a bit of catnip inside, or add a favorite toy. If you really want to spoil your kitty, tuck in a folded towel you've worn or handled. The familiar scent will comfort them like a gentle hug. And just like that, you've created a haven. Not just a bed, but a spot made with care. A soft corner of the world where your cat can rest, observe, and dream among the breeze and birdsong. But this project isn't just for your cat, it's for you too. Because when you sit beside them, tea in hand, watching them doze with their paws curled and their whiskers twitching in the breeze, something quiet happens inside. A kind of stillness, a reminder that comfort doesn't need to be complicated, that home is often just a soft place to rest, and that offering care even to a furry little soul is a beautiful way to spend the day. Every seasoned gardener has faced it, the moment when you reach for your trowel and realize it's not where you left it, or your gloves have disappeared again beneath a pot or behind a bag of soil. This sweet little Dollar Tree DIY is the answer to those gentle frustrations, a chalk sign garden tool holder that keeps everything tidy, visible, and beautifully within reach. Start by picking up a wooden chalkboard sign from Dollar Tree. You know, the kind with a smooth surface ready for your own words and a little rustic charm built right in. Choose one large enough to comfortably fit a few hooks across the bottom, but light enough to hang easily. Next, gather a few adhesive hooks or small metal cup hooks, which you can also often find at the Dollar Tree or any hardware aisle. Space them evenly along the bottom edge of your sign, then attach them securely using glue screws or by simply twisting them into place if your wood is soft enough. Now it's time to personalize. Use chalk or a paint marker to write something cheerful across the top of your sign, perhaps garden tools Grandma's shed, or even something playful like dig in. If you're feeling fancy, add little drawings, a flower sprout, a watering can, or a sunshine in the corner. Once dry, hang your tool holder in a spot that's shaded and sheltered, a fence near your potting bench, a garage wall, or even the inside of a garden shed door. Use nail-strong adhesive hooks or zip ties to keep it steady. Then simply hang your most used items: gloves, hand trowel, pruning shears, or a small hand rake. With everything in view, it becomes easier to start your day in the garden and easier to tidy up when you're done. And if the tools are wet or dirty, they'll have a chance to air dry. No more damp gloves stuffed into a corner. But this little tool holder does more than organize. It creates a ritual, a pause, a place where you begin and end your time in the garden, where your tools rest like loyal companions waiting for you to return. It says, this is your space, this is your rhythm, this is your joy. And maybe on a quiet morning, as you reach for your gloves, you'll notice the gentle handwriting you once scrawled across the top, and smile knowing it was made with your hands, just like everything beautiful growing around it. Because even the way we hang up our tools can speak of care. Some garden days begin with a gentle breeze and a warm cup of tea, while others begin with the search for that one missing glove. It's always the left one, isn't it? Rather than spend your energy hunting through pots and pockets, why not give your gloves a home of their own? One that's tidy, easy to reach, and even a little bit charming. This simple Dollar Tree project uses recycled materials and a touch of cleverness to create a magnetic glove holder, a neat little solution for those everyday garden tools that tend to wander. Begin with a metal cookie sheet or serving tray. Dollar Tree often carries these in silver or enamel finishes, but any lightweight metal will do. Clean it well and dry it thoroughly. If you like, give it a coat of paint to match your garden palette. Sage green warm cream or sky blue work beautifully. Let it dry fully before the next step. Next, grab a pair of your gardening gloves, the ones you use most often, and a few small, strong magnets. Dollar Tree sells packs of round magnets perfect for crafting. With a hot glue gun, attach one magnet to the back of each glove cuff. Press firmly and allow the glue to set. Now, mount the cookie sheet to a convenient wall or fence near your gardening space. You can hang it using nails, command strips, or even strong zip ties through small holes at the corners. Once secure, simply press the gloves onto the tray. The magnets will hold them neatly in place. You can also use the tray to hold other magnetic items, seed packets with magnetic clips, notes to yourself, or a mini chalkboard square for reminders. It becomes more than just a place to store gloves. It becomes a little command center, a curated spot for your gardening rhythm. And best of all, no more digging under flower pots or retracing your steps with muddy boots. Your gloves are right where you left them, clean, dry, and waiting to help you start again. But this project is about more than organization. It's a symbol, a small act of kindness to yourself. Because as we age, simplicity becomes a gift. Not because we do less, but because we do things with more care. Creating a space for your tools, for your gloves, is creating a space for your intentions. It says, "This is mine. This matters. I'm still growing, and I'm doing it with grace." So give your gloves a home. Let them hang proudly beside your garden. And know that even the smallest bit of order can bloom into something beautiful. Isn't it lovely when we can refresh a space without starting over? Like putting on a new scarf or changing a tablecloth, small changes that lift the spirit without much effort. That's exactly what this final project does. Transforms tired old pots into something fresh and seasonal using nothing more than fabric napkins and a roll of Velcro. Begin with your favorite planter, plastic, ceramic, or even a repurposed container. You won't need to move it or repot anything. In fact, this entire project happens without lifting a thing, which makes it perfect for those of us who prefer our DIYs to be easy on the back and kind on the hands. Now head to the Dollar Tree and pick out a few fabric napkins. Choose ones that make you smile, perhaps soft pastels for spring, bright florals for summer, burnt orange for fall, or rich plaids for winter. These napkins will become seasonal wraps for your planters. Measure the height and circumference of your pot, then fold or trim your napkin to fit like a wide band around it. Attach one side of a Velcro strip to one edge of the napkin and the matching piece to the opposite side, forming a simple reusable band. If your pot is slightly tapered, just pull the fabric snug and fasten. The Velcro will hold it in place gently. Wrap the napkin around the pot and fasten it. Voila, instant transformation. No soil spilled, no heavy lifting, just a brand new look that brings a spark of color to your porch or kitchen window. Want to get fancy? Add a bow of twine, a small charm, or a sprig of faux greenery tucked into the wrap. For the holidays, you can even hot glue a few little bells or pine cones onto the napkin wrap, festive touches that can be swapped out with ease. What makes this project special is not just its elegance or simplicity. It's the idea that beauty doesn't have to be permanent to matter. Like the seasons, it can change. It should change. And you're allowed to keep refreshing your space, your spirit, and your surroundings without starting from scratch. These planter wraps are gentle reminders that everything, including you, can bloom again with just a touch of care and a hint of creativity. Because reinvention isn't just for pots, it's for us too. And if a dollar napkin and a strip of Velcro can make something old feel new again, imagine what your hands and your heart are still capable of. And there you have it, dear friend. 30 garden ideas, all brought to life with just a few dollars, a little time, and the quiet creativity you've carried with you all these years. Isn't it beautiful what we can do when we slow down, look around, and trust our hands to make something lovely from what others might call nothing? You didn't need youth. You didn't need riches. You didn't even need a big backyard. What you needed and what you have is vision. a heart that sees potential in old boots and tin cans, a soul that knows the worth of stillness, of growing things, of giving second chances. And isn't that what this garden really is? A patchwork of second chances. A child's toy becomes a planter. A cookie sheet becomes a home for gloves. A soda bottle painted bright becomes a home for basil and thyme. These aren't just decorations. They're stories. Little proofs that nothing is too small to be repurposed. And no one is too old to create joy. With every project you complete, you say something quietly powerful. I'm still here. I still make beauty. I still grow. And that, dear friend, is the truest form of gardening. Not just planting seeds, but planting yourself with intention, with love, and with the belief that even in this season of life, you're still blooming. So, which idea will you try first? The ladybug rocks. The hanging basket with solar glow. Or maybe that adorable boot planter that reminds you of muddy mornings and giggling feet. I'd love to know. Tell me in the comments what brought you the most joy today, and if you'd like to keep creating alongside me, don't forget to subscribe. There's always more beauty to share, more gentle magic to uncover, more quiet corners to turn into something wonderful. And until next time, remember this: your hands still create beauty, your heart still holds wonder, and your garden, however big or small, still has room to grow something new. Take a deep breath, smile at the space you've tended with care, and know that you've done something good. Until next time, happy gardening, dear friend.